Hello, my dear friends. This is Prasanna Kumar, your host for the Fatal Brains. Today we have with us Franchesa Kirkpatrik. She's from Nashville and she's a poet, artist, dramatist, whatnot. And she has got so much of things to tell us about her journey of the dramatics, poetics, and whatnot. Let us go across to Frances and try to get to know about the journey that happened with how it began, how she got into it, what's the happiness that she derives through this. Francesca, welcome. It's such an honor that you have accepted the interaction. Of course, it's totally unprepared off the record. Go ahead.
Well, I love being solo with you. I got interested in, like I said, acting from an early age. I remember being a baby and seeing the world around me. I don't know, some people don't remember being a baby, but there are a few people in my family actually do. And I can talk to them about it because when I was born, the doctor said I was born smiling. So I believe it. I believe that I was born smiling, and I believe that I had like an inner dialogue in my head, and I knew that I had to do something with myself, and I still do. Even though sometimes things get rough, I go ahead and I just do stuff. And that's one of the things that people say about me is like, even if you have something going on in your life, you still want to help other people. You still want to smile at them. You still want to entertain them. So here, we moved to Nashville when I was 5 years old. But before that, I was in Kentucky a little bit, which is another state right above me. We lived in Indiana for a while. And then when we came to Nashville, automatically, I just really took to Nashville because I had met so many people that were so kind to me. We had Kitty Wells and Johnny Wright sort of hanging out in our community. We had barbecues for them for fanfare. We have a thing called fanfare or CMA now. It's called CMA fanfare, which we have the country music artists that live here or they come to visit during that time of year and people come here to see them get their autographs signed, kind of hear music and do fun stuff with them, just fun activities, cook with them. Also, Dolly Parton lives around, and my friends actually work for Dolly. And sometimes people say, "Are you talking Dolly? Are you saying like Salvador?" I said, "No, Dolly Parton. There's two Dollys." So, but anyway, we also have art and crafts here. So I've been to a lot and worked at a lot of arts and crafts markets and things like that. So throughout the years, I've just had so much joy being around artists and this poetry, can go around the world. Even last night, um, I got to be in a little bit of a community with some poets, and I was so happy to be able to do every day if we wanted to try to do everyday poetry because it's poetry month and also it's also the thing that we enjoy. We just enjoy each other.
Great, 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 great. You're born with a smile, and it's a quarter month, as you said. But then, and you born to serve. That it was your motto. That is, you have said
Mhm.
during that. So, what was the during this process? I mean, the journey that you are into autistics and these things. What are the challenges that you have faced?
The challenges that I've missed, the things that I've missed a lot. I've not been able to be around really close family. I have had to stay here in Nashville pretty much most of the time. There was a long road for me because of some things that doctors thought about. They were thinking that I shouldn't be like for a while. They were like, "Oh, could we, you know, keep you resting and not driving or anything like this?" So I wasn't able to go places that I wanted to go all the time, and I still don't. But I have to request. to go places. And what Zoom brought to us was a good thing because we can actually see each other without having to leave the house. If we are creatives, we can do many things here in our homes. I've missed out. Yes, I have missed out on many things. I've had to not go and do certain things that I really wanted to do. But then again, trade that. I've done things that most people haven't done. Like I've had to take breaks, and then I've been blessed to be able to travel after I've rested. I've been blessed to be able to travel all over and make some of my dreams come true. So sometimes dreams can be shattered. You're so right. You can want to do something and you can't do it, and there's no way for you to do it, but you got to sometimes just take the lead and go ahead and uh, know that there are things you're not going to be able. They say fear of missing out. Yes, you could have fear of missing out. I try not to fear the missing out part, but yes, there are so many challenges that I've had that I haven't been able to do things. There have been many things that I've sat here and said, if I had a big stack, literally a big stack of papers that I didn't do, they would probably be mounting up. But then the things that I did do branches out, supports. So thank you for your support. Thank you.
It's quite, relieving. I mean, it's like to know about that, despite the challenges that one, the understanding that we get during the process that, despite the hurdles, despite not doing, getting to do what we, you know, uh, dreamt of or something like that. But then we achieve something we do of, what others can't do. And that's a grace that we are blessed with. And that is what in the acceptance. And then we go ahead, you know, accept and take the things that come in our way. So that is something good and a positive aspect of yours. Maybe that's what.
Mhm.
So apart your the poetics or the dramatics or this thing, what are the other things that you are inclined to do and interests, the area of interest? What are the other things?
Oh my goodness. You- I'm inclined to paint. I love painting. I have that also in my DNA. Jackson Pollock, that guy, the Bob guy that everybody says, oh, I really love to watch Bob paint. All those people, somehow I was in their DNA line. So many people who love art. I love art. So that's one of the biggest things I'm inclined to do is to try to find ways to twist art into either 3D or something I've seen around my home. I have paintings that I've done, and I teach painting sometimes, and I also give uh, encouragement to the community. That's one thing. That's the art of that. But then I also have helped, special needs kids with things, and so I'm interested in also helping people who have handicaps to learn ways to do things even if they can't do it like the normal way. That's another interest of mine, is to reach out to those people. Also, music, songwriting. Oh my goodness, I mean, with if you can do poetry here in Nashville, there's a songwriting community. You can go out and share your music, your songs, and some people get paid for it. Others just like to, produce this stuff and have it available for other people to hear. And there's just there's no limit to it. I mean, people learn instruments. Whenever I was in high school, I learned instruments. I learned how to play different things like the mandolin and things like that. But then I learned later on that I couldn't hold the frets because I had some disabilities. My fingers just would not, do this because they collapse. I have something called Ehlers-Danlos. So that made it harder for me to even like try to play an instrument other than the drum. I mean, I do like also like I can toy around on the piano a little bit, but it's basic just like writing like some basic melody lines. but I just kind of leave it up to other people that are professional. And if they want my help, then they can ask, like for, I had teachers that were music composers. So they taught us how to compose. And there was actually a class in my high school, music composition and stuff like that. And also, we got to sing. And when I talk about acting, oh my goodness, I can go into a long spiel about that, but I'll try to make it short. I was taught by Oprah Winfrey's teacher how to act, and most people know who Oprah is, but she lived here in Nashville for a while, and she worked here until she moved to Chicago. And her dad, I've met her dad. Her dad was in a movie before he passed away. He was a hairdresser, so he did barbershop stuff. But anyway, when she moved here to Nashville, Oprah Winfrey's dad sent her to East High School. And East High School was where my teacher was teaching. And she said, oh my goodness, they call me every day. She said, I can't tell them anything from the tabloids. She said they would ask about who she dated and things like that. It's kind of funny. She's like, I'm not going to tell. But no, we in Nashville, we know things about certain artists and stuff, but we don't talk about it because the thing is, it's their privacy. Um, from that, the acting I'm talking about, a lot of actors because they come into your place when you're doing some acting. You're on the set. Sometimes you're an extra. Sometimes you are the lead actor or actress. Uh, and you get to meet so many different people that you never thought. You're like, did I really just stand there and talk to so and so, name dropping, but Nicole Kidman or somebody like that? Because like I was saying earlier, Keith and Nicole live here, and sometimes you'll see them out eating or something like that, or you'll go to an event and they'll be there. Also, people from rock bands, Aerosmith, um, things like that, they'll just be right there in your midst, and you just know how to behave because you're not gonna like you see the people screaming for the Beatles and passing out. No, you don't do that. That's not etiquette here. And you don't even really need to go up and ask for autograph because that's just something like this is their home and they're trying to eat or they're trying to live here. So that's another thing. It's like I like to go and spend time with those people because they need the real people around them too that know they're not going to ask for things like that. Or have that weird, feeling of I gotta, meet a star. But I feel like I've just spent so much time with artists that working with them that I respect them for their art. And the other parts, I guess you could say, my other interests, travel. I've done so much travel, and that inspires my writing. My writing, traveling all over the world, and I've still got a few countries that I want to, go see at some point. Um, Especially your country for sure. I've always said, oh, I'm gonna come. And I've also been very interested. I mean, we go out and we, at least once a month or maybe 3 times a month, eat, the cultural food. Um, and also, giving that being said, I write about other places because people don't experience them and they need to hear about them. And that's why I write is to give people that experience and take pictures too. That's another interest. You're like, what do you do? Photography. I've shot videos for people. I've done that kind of thing. It's just like you said, how many things did you do or whatever? Yeah, I did a lot, but I sort of have to rest more now and do the poetry because that's just where I am. I could still do some of the little things I used to do, but I prefer to, take a break and use it for the energy that I spend doing writing and poetry now. Mhm.
Great, great, great. Wow, so many things. But then, yeah, just reaching out to the disabled and,
Mhm. Yeah.
less privileged is something much, occupies. That is something significant part of that in your wish list and the area of interest. That is what you mentioned, that, songwriting about other things, traveling, of course, that builds up, knowledge, gives you knowledge, to study people, places, history, culture. And yes, you're always welcome. And I'm there to receive you.
Thank you.
And about these, what are the, I mean, like, what are the styles that you use uh, in your writing? I mean, in the poetry, or what are the themes that you basically write on?
Okay. Well, I have different themes because in the I love places and people's faces. I kind of had a compilation of my stuff, but I look at what is around me to see the titles that I'm going to choose. Like, say, like if it's something that's haunted, then I have to choose a haunted title. That's my haunted book. If it's a fairy tale, I'm going to use a title that sounds like a fairy tale. If I have mermaid stuff, I'm going to take the mermaid um thing to come to that. Also, just individually, sometimes you write something and it's in a certain genre and you got to pick out a name for it. And I've actually named a bunch of songs on. We have 25 music albums as well in our collection. So I've had to help name some of those songs.
How many
It's
books?
been, excuse me.
Among
Yeah,
how many
I've
books?
had to help.
How many poetry books so far you have taken out?
I don't know. I probably could count about 10 or 20. Sorry. Like
Really? Okay.
that. I got some water. Probably around 10 or 20. Maybe more than that. I mean, like I'm in some compilations that you would say, but I could probably, fill up quite a few. I've got a big box that isn't even been put in, like typed up or of things I've written since I was a kid.
Oh,
And especially today, well, today I've got to say it's very, I'm very happy about today because I have been in my home that I live in now today for 20 years. That is a big accomplishment because of things that you could probably never imagine. People who have been sick and things like that, they don't sometimes you can't stay in the same residence, you can't stay in the same state, you can't stay in the same place. But I have today this was the day 20 years ago I signed the papers for my home. So I'm just so happy for that because this is something to be grateful for. There's always something to be grateful for every day. But today was the day, and I was so thankful that today I got to speak with you too because to tell people about that. I mean, you don't have to stay in the same place. That's not what I'm saying. Because I live somewhere doesn't mean I stay in the same place. I travel. I've lived in other countries for a month at a time, even when I've had this home. I've been, to like France and stay there for a month, or I've been in Europe for like 4 months or whatever since I've lived here. But that means a lot, to say, don't think that just because you own a place doesn't mean that you don't travel and you don't go places and you say, I'll just stay right here because this is what I have. But strive to have more if you can. I mean, do all you can to help other people because you never know when they're going to help you. And you also don't know, like I've used my home as a place to host people as well. I've had doctors from India here actually. I've had people called couch surfers. They've came through. I've had people, that do like circus acts or, acts at the fair. I've had people from all over the place. And some people actually moved here after experiencing it because they came to visit. So they moved to Nashville because they were like, oh, I love the Nashville experience that you gave me. So even if I don't see them every day because, they're just kind of passing through and stuff like that, it's a big city now. I mean, it's a music city, so people have the room to be here without being like seeing you. You don't even, sometimes you don't see the people again, but they're here because you have them on Facebook as friends, and you're like, and they're posting about I'm here in Nashville, I'm doing this, or I'm living in this area, and you just kind of like, I'm blessed. I'm so blessed.
oh yeah, congratulations on that. Must say, like you said, it is not about the, having a, permanent thing, but then, it's also about it cannot restrain. It should not be restraining, but then you could be traveling and you could be, hosting, and one day maybe I could be your host, I might be your guest. Yeah,
Yes.
probably.
That's right. That's right. People get their plane ticket, and before, we had our break where we had our like 5 year. I just call it the 5 year break because I don't like to talk about it too much. But I mean, I can talk about it, but I'm just saying, I don't want to get too involved in what we all had to take that 5 year sort of, the break from what was going on. I mean, we still have to face that, but the thing is that I still hosted during that time. I had people here. People are still coming. And before that, though, like I said, I when I first started the couch surfing thing, my mom and grandmother were alive, and they were visiting me. And they met like 13 people like during a week. It was like they were all here, and they would come. And we had people from Australia. We had women that actually birthed babies. They came. We were able to host them while they were going to conference, and they had helped do water birthing. So they used our music. They said, we're going to take this music back to Australia and use it for the water births. So how many people got born into this world with the music that we helped create? And here they also had the water birth because they got trained how to do this. And I mean, I love that kind of thing too. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever be able to be a midwife or something like this, but I really think that that was another thing that would be kind of cool, to help other people be a
Such a,
doula or be something like
it's
that. Yeah.
it's such a fulfilling experience that it's such a grace and more is bestowed upon by you by Almighty or whatever it is. Uh, that's what I would put it as. Uh, if I may, because
Mhm.
it's a kind of the experience that it's not an easy thing to handle those kind of things and all. You know, you need to have an extreme courage and to face situations. It's not an ordinary thing. And the kudos to you
It's
and
not.
with a kind and congratulations that you have the strength within you. You have got a lot of things, I know, to
Mhm.
go with. And it's such a
Another thing,
yeah.
a lot of many things I want to say, it's just, even like I said about birth, there's also the death. Okay. I have been there with people who are passing on. Um, I was there with an artist, uh, I guess now 2 Decembers ago. She wrote songs for Cyndi Lauper. You probably heard of Cyndi Lauper, but and she did a lot of things. But we were, I was at her house with the relative of Dolly Parton as well. We were both together, and she was passing on, and we played her music that she wanted because she was actually also Buddhist, and she wanted us to be there and do something for her. So she instructed us on how, when she passed, what she wanted. And it was a beautiful night. I mean, I can't even describe. I mean, people say, how could you, think that death is beautiful? But if you've ever been there with someone who is passing and they're holding your hand and they're in a loving spirit, I mean, I'm telling you, it's hard, but yes, you will always, remember that experience. And like I said, I don't mind. I would really like to see people come into the world. And I worked at a hospital that we took pictures of babies when they came in too, and that was their first day, here, and we were taking a picture of this newborn, and then uh, to the years going by, and the person calls you and says, "I hope you're here with me before I pass on." And if you're actually there and it happens right when you're in the room, to work with people like that, that's just so fulfilling. I mean,
As
just
I said,
in your soul.
no, earlier as I was said that encourage ads. You need to have courage uh, to face the both birth and death. And that is something not everyone could ready to face or handle or build it. I mean, that's you need to have a composure of that. You need to have the balance of mind to take it. The pain, it's a joy. Everybody will, it would come forward and to accept that. But then, the pain that gives us, and having both in the balance and the state of mind is something remarkable. And Francisa, you have done everything, I believe. And it's like exploring you, and I can get to learn many things that how despite having setbacks or what, and I mean like many of the drawback. I mean like yeah, how one could go forward.
Mm, I feel like I have strength from the ancestors a little bit, you know? Thinking about, I was talking about how, I did discover my DNA stuff, but I think that to be here today, it takes a lot of people. I've realized that when I studied my ancestors and the DNA, they had, you have to have so many people that lived back before you to be here today. We are
Mm,
miracles, and you don't people don't think this way, but but even if something happens to you, like say I've had meningitis 5 times. Say
mm,
my cousins and my brain was swelled, and I was in the hospital a bunch, and there's nothing I could do. The thing is like this, the strength that I had was I just kept looking forward. Like I kept saying, what am I going to do when I get home? What am I
it,
going to do when I
uh,
come back home? Like clicking Dorothy's heels, there's no place like home. And so you just kind of focus on, is it time to move somewhere else? And because I did actually, the last time that I had the meningitis, I passed out, and they said, well, we noticed that you everything
mm,
was going, and I heard that come back because you got so much more to do. You got so much more to fulfill,
mm,
and I couldn't believe the things. I mean, because you don't, they say like how do you know that? Well, there's just like this voice inside of you that tells that it's not time to give up or give in or stop. Just keep going until it's time not to. And we know this with our friends that have passed on this last week or two. I've had at least probably 20 to 25 people who are either have passed or they actually are passing, because I know a lot of people, and somehow it's their parent or it's their best friend, or and other people got really close with illness and stuff like that. And so you got to think like every day is our blessing, and to not take that blessing is a challenge for everyone. Like you said, if you don't go
mm,
on with what you're intended to do, how does that strength come from inside? It's words, it's your friends. I think that friends are strength. I think that friends around the world, having friends around the world, around the globe, strengthens us. I think
exactly.
that being able to speak, even if like we don't know each other's language, if we speak in emojis or if we speak in like just showing people pictures or whatever. I think even if you can't say the words, and there is sign language and stuff like that you can learn, you got to remember the strength is in communication with each other. We've got to support each other. I believe that. I believe that we kept a lot of people strong that have passed on. Um, we've kept them strong by telling them how important they are to us and
Exactly.
showing them how important they
Exactly.
are to us. Showing them.
At least the gestures just matters. Gestures are enough to communicate, no matter the language or it is. That's very important, in order to uh, move forward despite of the issues that crops up. We need to get more, and like you said, the resilience or the strength with them. We should keep, nudging and bringing it on. Thank you,
Yeah.
Francis. Here, I mean, we had a beautiful interaction. That's, it's that came through
And
such a
I'll Want to make you laugh, so here I've got my bunny ears on today.
Rabbit.
Coming up, just hop
And
around and be happy. I was gonna wear my cat ears and stuff like that, but that's for another time because I do play a cat in my public. Um, so I get to take on different roles and like I said, costumes, but that's one of the funny ones that I just found that I thought would be kind of funny that would go with my background. But anyways, I've got,
that
a
is,
lot of bunnies hanging around in my yard, actually outside. I live in a city, but there are bunnies in my yard. There are bunnies that hop around in my yard, wild bunnies.
Bugs Bunny. Yeah, thank you. It's,
Oh, I love bugs. I
we
love all those
got,
characters too.
we
Yeah,
have one
I could
more.
be quite a little, even though I'm not a crazy person or anything like that, but I can be funny and happy and laugh and like they say, like a Looney Tune. I know you know what I mean, like a cartoon character.
That's
If
what.
there was ever a person, I think I could turn into a cartoon character if they allowed that. I mean, pushed a button and said, "You're the cartoon character." And I guess, with AI these days, you could actually do this because it will bring your image into another zone. And then I do all kinds of cartoon voices too. I forgot to even do anything like that for you because I could do the Dorothy thing for them from the movie. Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. And then I've got Gone with the Wind as well with Vivian Lee. It says, as God is my witness, we'll never go hungry again. Oh, Rat! And then I have other little, like I can do chipmunks because when I was small, I I really love the chipmunks, so I would sing like chipmunk songs and Air from Simon Theodore. So I can sing in chipmunk voices and talk in chipmunk. And also English, because people were like, "Are you from England?" And I'm like, "I'm not, but guess what? I do a really good English accent because I had to be Mrs. Lovett in the haunted house." So I'll do one of those. Meat pies. Anyone would like a meat pie? Would you like to try some meat pie today, sir? So, anyway,
Oh, friend,
have
just
tea with me. But anyway,
lots.
there's just a little bit. I mean, I have so many, and everybody says, "Oh gosh, how did this happen to you? How are you do so?" But I just wanted to explore everything I could explore. So hopefully, I'll have more time. You know, in let's see,
Yeah,
in about a month, I'll be over like into another age. So I mean, I still stay a kid. I mean, I've got my room full of stuffed animals. I've got, I love to surround myself with with um childlike things. Even though I am very responsible and very respectful, I still can go back there to my childhood. And that's one of the songs I helped write too, is called Back to My Childhood. I helped write for a Japanese girl that came to town. She recorded in the studio here, um, a little bit of it, and then we ended up recording it. But it had lyrics to it at one point, but it also is just a piano song called "Back to My Childhood." It's pretty cool. Um, like I said, there's just so many things I could go into, and probably we never will get into, in this interview. But you never know.
it's exciting, and we had fun as well as interesting aspect of yours, and letting us know about yourself and the interest, the area of interest, the how we take the life as it comes. Such an interesting. Thank you, Francis, for having your talk on, and everything. And it's like signing off. Yours, Mr. Kumar. Thank you.
Mhm.